All right, everyone, this is Andrew Hall. With me is Satan for Congress, Steve Hill. Steve Hill, for those of you who do not know, he is a Satanist. He is a former Marine, former prison guard, brilliant comedian, and I'm always honored to have Steve on the channel. And I cannot even tell you what just happened in the pre-show.
Trust no one.
I cannot even tell you what happened. In the pre, I mean, if Steve feels comfortable talking about it, what happened before we hit the live button, but there was a conversation, and I'm like, wow, Steve Hill, you're just Steve Hill all the time, Steve Hill. there's no neutral. You're just full throttle all the time.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me back on the show. Appreciate it.
All right. While I think about it, I should just say, talk about your Facebook page. It's Satan for Congress, correct, sir?
Yeah, did I yeah, I think I activated my Facebook page. Satan for Congress, the numeric symbol for Congress. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Go ahead.
So if people want to check that out, it's a Facebook page. You can like. I have it liked. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So it's for Congress, and that's a 4. That's a 4.
Yeah.
And Steve is currently running for the 25th congressional district in the state of California.
Yes, that entails North Los Angeles County, a little bit of Ventura County, Simi Valley, Santa Clarita, Acton, Palmdale, Lancaster. I think Little Rock, Lake LA. It's a pretty big district. It's a district that Representative Mike Garcia holds right now. He's a big Trump supporter. He we used to be friends until I had an incident with law enforcement, and then all of my Republican political friends, all of a sudden they don't contact me much no more because I'm in court with law enforcement.
And with me is another Satanist extraordinaire, is Jack Materko. How you doing, Jack? Oh, I think Jack's freezing up on us.
Oh man, Jack, walk towards the light, Jack.
Or the darkness. I mean, I don't know how you would.
Yeah. I'm on the dark side. You might have to walk towards the darkness. Turn your back to the sun, Jack.
You might have to turn it off and turn it back on, Jack. I'm going to kick you out until you get.
Is he muted too? Is he muted?
Oh yeah. Once he is, I think he's just completely.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think he has to turn it back off and turn it back on again. But I'm going to keep an eye on him in case he starts being like not frozen, basically.
Yeah.
So Steve, I've heard the story about the police harassment you have suffered, but for people who haven't heard about it, you want to just give a
let me just give a brief synopsis of what happened to me during my scope of employment as a small business owner. I own a real estate appraisal business. I've been appraising real estate for 18 years. That means I caught that mortgage meltdown that happened. I was appraising during that period. Actually, about 4 years before, and the market was really a heated market. Everything was on the way up. Real estate prices were out the roof. And I was appraising real estate. And when you have a report, you have to use comparable properties to support the value of the subject property that you are appraising. So you have to have actual physical photos of those properties to show that they exist to the banks. So you have to shoot your comparable properties. I was shooting comparable properties in a certain part of town. I think it was West Lancaster. And this is exactly what happened. A neighbor of this sheriff, and the comparable property I was shooting was his house. But a neighbor who was off to my right saw me looking at the house. I don't let people see me shoot a picture. I put my camera in my arm where people can't see and shoot the photo. But that's a whole nother story. But he saw me looking at the house. I was looking at the house because I was checking out the value, influence, and characteristics of the property, which would be important for me to note in my report as, giving a description of the property. Anyways, he knows that his neighbor was a cop. So he ran to his neighbor's house, I'm sure, after I left. And you know, my license plate reads "for Satan." The numeric symbol for Satan, like Satan for Congress.
Right.
So I try to keep a consistent, pattern.
It's
so
like
people
branding.
catch on easy.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure he ran to his neighbor's house and said, "Oh, this guy was looking at your house and his plate said for Satan." So what the cop did, I guess, was waited until he went into work, which was about 45 minutes later. And he came to my house, and I live in an exclusive neighborhood. I live in a house where we have views, and there's very few houses that have views in Antelope Valley because it's mostly high desert and flat land. So anyway, he came up to my house questioning me. Like, he asked me 2 questions. Where were you 45 minutes ago? And what were you doing over there? Now, this guy, because someone saw my plate that said for Satan, gave him my plate, and he ran it, which was totally illegal because nobody had called the police on me. Totally illegal. When he came up questioning me, I asked him, I said, "Did somebody call the police?" And he said, "No." So that right there is like, as a peace officer, I know that that's illegal. You can't do that. And he knew that I was a retired correctional officer, because when you run my license, it tells a cop, contact the Department of Corrections, because I have clearance on my shit. And he knew I was in law enforcement somewhere. Maybe he thought I was an inmate. And he just couldn't resist. And he came asking me, and I thought that was a violation of my civil rights. Like, you don't ask me shit. I got the freedom and the right of movement. I got all kinds of fucking rights under the Constitution. And you're coming questioning me about where the fuck I've been? So, I was actually quite nice about it. I could have been an asshole because I had my pistol on me at the time. Because when I'm out in these neighborhoods, I have to go to East Lancaster after I left his house. And there is fucking nothing but gangs over there. It's on the other side of the highway. They use highways in the AV to separate rich from poor.
Oh, so I know.
I
understand.
Yeah. So anyway, I had my gun on me. He didn't even know. But, I de-escalated it. I was like, "Hey, don't worry about it, man. Yeah. You fucked up. Go ahead and go on home." And I knew that I was going the next day to talk to the captain to let him know that, hey, you need to train your fucking officers, because you got people coming to my house asking me, why the fuck was I in a neighborhood? And you can't do that. Yeah. The captain ignored me. He didn't even return my call. And I was a candidate for state senate. I left him a business card and my candidate's card. And this motherfucker didn't even call me back. So I went out to a meeting where I knew he would be and sat right in the front row. And when he asked, was there anybody to have a problem, I raised my hand. This motherfucker told me to go to the website. And somebody behind me.
What did he tell you?
He told me, "Oh, well, you need to go to our website if you have a complaint." And he's standing right there in front of me. And I knew all the people that were on the Citizens Advisory Committee for the sheriffs. It was a black pastor, a Latino radio host. I mean, these are all people I deal with because I'm in politics, and they're all in politics with me. And it was a Islamic guy who lives up here near me in the high rent part of town. But I knew, and they all knew me. And not one of them were concerned with what I was saying. Not one of them asked me, "Well, Steve, what happened?" None of them. And I stayed till after the meeting. Still nobody talked to me. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to go file a formal complaint. I went and filed a formal complaint at the station. The motherfuckers did an investigation. A lieutenant called me. I still got the screen grab from when he called me. 17-minute conversation. And he said, he basically said, "Well, when he started questioning you, why didn't you just turn around and go in the house?" And I'm like, this motherfucker's on my property. Why the fuck I gotta go in my house? Just made me feel like a total fucking.
What's that?
It's pretty bold to go and tell a black guy, "Why didn't you just turn your back on a cop?"
Right. Exactly.
It's completely queer, Jack. Yeah.
Like that's really not the formula for survival in America, turning your back on a cop.
No.
So yeah, man. So I finally, long story short, I had to file a lawsuit, and that put me into a whole different fucking echelon of injustice, because my attorney is fucking me because he knows the system. He's trying to get more and more money out of me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This shit happened before George Floyd was murdered, and I don't even have a fucking hearing yet, because the whole system fucks black people.
Yeah.
If they don't kill you, they'll kill your ass in court. They'll wait you out and see how much money you can spend on an attorney, and you'll never get justice. But guess what? I'm running for office, and I'm getting ready to tell the whole motherfucking country that this shit has got to change.
Well, I'm going to talk about the pre-show for a minute here, because I mentioned it in the chat. And when you're talking about speaking truth to power, Steve Hill is your guy. You want to talk about what happened in the pre-show, Steve?
Yeah, just so happened I got a phone call from one of our California Democratic Party regional directors. It's kind of like a fucking general in the army in a certain particular political environment. She called it to ask me not to put anything negative about her on Facebook. And the shit that I've been putting on Facebook about her is the absolute truth, and she knows it. But still, I'll give her a little respect for at least calling and asking me not to do it. But this is the same bitch that in the race in 2020, she asked one of the other candidates to drop out of the race because they thought I might win too many votes because I had run before and I had gotten 11% of the vote. So they were concerned that I might take too much of the vote away for the establishment candidate to win. And to me, that's election meddling. That's nothing less than what the Russians did for Trump, asking somebody to drop out the race. Bitch, you don't have the people of the power of the people. That's the people's power you fucking with, So yeah, I'm mad at her, and I'll let them know I'm mad at her. And, I let her know, like you heard in the conversation, and I'm running for 25th Congressional District in California as an independent, because I don't fuck with no gang affiliation, no Democrat, no Republican. Fuck them both. Ain't nothing but fucking Bloods in the Crip. Fuck them both.
Well, one of the bones of contention, from what I heard of the conversation, was about prison labor. You want to talk about that for a bit and talk about your personal insight?
Yeah, well, my personal insight is I was a state correctional officer. I worked at two different maximum security prisons, one being CCI, which is California Correctional Institution at Tehachapi, and one being CSP LAC, which is California State Prison, Los Angeles County, which is the only state prison within the bounds of Los Angeles County. So you got a ton of brown-skinned people, mostly the Latino gangs, MS-13, La Familia, Border Brothers, Northern Mexicans, Southern Mexicans, Fresno Bulldogs, Nazi lowriders, and skinheads, and the Peckerwoods. You got all of them wanting to be there. You got all the Bloods and the Crips wanting to be close to home. You got Rolling 60s, you got BGF, Black Guerrilla Family, everybody, so the prison, when it opened in 93, it was on rock and roll because everybody was trying to establish position, and, I'll admit this on air because I don't give a fuck, but I used to ask the Mexican inmates and the black inmates, like, why do you guys always fight each other? If you guys join forces, you could run the goddamn prison. All the extortion, all the drug sales, all of the pimping and the hoeing of other inmates. And this is just real. This is shit that happens in prison, but they wouldn't unite. The Latinos would always be with the whites for some reason in prison. It just goes to show you, I guess, though nobody like black people, but they wouldn't unite. So the prison was always always come into work and it's fucking, the yard is locked down. It's like, what's up? Oh, altercation, blacks and Mexicans. For so many years, I get so fucking tired of hearing that. Altercation, blacks and Mexicans, blacks and Latinos, whatever, we're Northern Mexicans, the Border Brothers. The Border Brothers are the undocumented aliens, not aliens, but undocumented workers, whatever they're calling them now. Illegal immigrants, which I think nobody is illegal because this shit actually used to be Mexico before the colonizers came. So I'm like, man, y'all just taking y'all country back as far as I'm concerned, as far as all this wall building bullshit. But anyways, yeah, that's my insight into prison, man. I was a prison officer, and she was telling me that a candidate of theirs that I kind of chewed out for expressing his willingness to allow inmates to be worked to death like they're fucking slaves. And I confronted him about it. It's like, it's not their job to be put to work once they're in prison. That's their punishment. Prison is their punishment. The confinement is their punishment. The lack of freedom movement is their punishment. You can't put them to work after that and keep punishing them.
It's bizarre that you have to explain to people that coerced labor is slave labor, it's indentured, whatever you want to call it. And just because you're in prison doesn't mean you're on some kind of Roman galley having to push and pull the oars all day. Right.
But see, ignorant people who we have running for office that don't really know this kind of shit, and the constituents, they don't know it. But somebody's got to know this shit, and we got to get candidates. We got to get candidates that have an understanding of humanity and rules and law and, our rights, our civil rights, everything. But we don't have that. We just have these establishment candidates who, can raise a lot of money and get endorsements from all the unions and all that shit, and basically do a low-grade brainwashing of the people by utilizing lots of money. That's why we got to get money out of fucking politics.
Right.
We got to get it out. It's ruining our whole system.
Jack, what were you going to say, sir?
I was going to say, it's not that they're ignorant of it, that they're just in favor of it. They know that the system doesn't work without free labor somewhere along the line, and they're perfectly okay with saying, okay, these are the people who we're going to exploit.
Yeah, it's part of the public's mental conditioning to make allow them to be complacent with thinking in this manner.
No, they think that's part of it, right? They've gotten this whole thing their whole lives about how hard work builds character, and if somebody's in prison, obviously there's some lesson they didn't learn, so they need hard work to set them straight. And,
yeah. That's the rationale behind it. Then we've got to fix the system.
You need some Jesus-endorsed Protestant work ethic. That's what I say.
Yeah. It's not. It couldn't be wrong if it's Jesus endorsed. How about having some shit that's Satan endorsed? I bet it would make a lot more sense.
Well.
So what are the policies that Satan would endorse? I'm going to ask the two Satanists here.
Okay.
I think tax-funded strip clubs are a good idea.
Very good, Jack. That was like really fast, dude. That was like really fast. Have you been cooking on that idea? Or you've been like thinking, Well,
we did Pride at the Estate this week, so there's been a lot of sex work talk kicking around. So,
yeah, porn, yeah, strip club with a 501c3 status.
But seriously, Steve, what are you running on, sir?
I'm running on education first. Education first, because if we can't, and somehow they've demonized the word woke now. Even the Democrats have demonized the word woke. McCarville and a bunch of those other ones. Oh, you can't say woke no more. When I actually think finally these motherfuckers got their marketing terms right. Woke, because when you wake people the fuck up and they know what is going on, it will usually spark something in their humanity so they can start taking action and being engaged. But yeah, I would like to wake people up with education and let them, it's so many people that knew nothing about Tulsa, about Greenwood, about all of these towns and cities where Black people live and we don't even know half. We don't know the half. We don't know what happened. We didn't win shit, so we don't get the right to history. How many small towns, and I got property in a small town in Mississippi. How many small towns that were just wiped off the map, the whole Black population of the town, because something went wrong?
Yeah.
We'll never know about. And of course, people don't talk about it no more. All these motherfuckers are dead now. So it's like lost history.
I think a lot of white people know about the Tulsa race riots because of popular TV shows more than what they learned in classrooms.
Oh yeah, I went to school in the 70s. I know we didn't learn shit about Mark. We learned about Martin Luther King. We didn't learn shit about Malcolm X. We didn't learn nothing about Marcus Garvey, James Bowen. I mean, Sidney Poitier, who was active, Harry Belafonte, who was active. We didn't learn nothing about just Martin Luther King, because he went to church and you niggas need Jesus to keep from killing us. So yeah, that's the way that went down.
Steve, I'm surprised that the Democrats, because you're running as an independent, haven't tried to buy you off.
You would think, huh? You would think when a motherfucker drawing the vote, you would think they would at least come and talk to me.
I would just give you a big bag of money if I was on playing for that team. I'd be like, well, Steve's going to siphon off some votes from us. Instead of giving him a hard time, I'd just try to buy him off.
But see, that's one thing about Satan. You can't buy me off.
You can't buy off Satan.
I'm a business owner. I got my own money, and this is why you got to get money out of politics. I got my own motherfucking money.
Yeah, I'm
in real estate. I'm a Black man that my credit score can't get no motherfucking higher. You know what that means? I have access to all the money I need. I got clients that are bankers. I know people that will give me a hard money loan for $500,000 and have it to me the next day. So as far as money and shit that, is going to get me excited, I'm going to go buy me a motherfucking gold chain and a fucking Bentley. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I care about the people. And the people gotta fucking realize that they have the power to change all of this shit. I'm tired of fucking being Black in America. It's fucking exhausting.
I want to do a callback to that conversation we had before the show, and the woman that you were talking to, once again, someone powerful within the Democratic Party, said two things that rubbed me raw. One is that I don't like comedy.
Yeah.
And two, I don't like the word fight. And it's like, and as soon as I heard that, Steve, you said the words that I was thinking about. This is why Democrats lose elections, is because they do not embrace fighting spirit.
Right. All that Michelle Obama, when they go high, we go low. Fuck that. When they go low, we kick them in the motherfucking head. Fuck that. We're talking about our country.
Yeah. So we were talking too about you doing a comedy show last night. How can do you try to weaponize comedy to spread the message, or is comedy just?
No, I don't weaponize it at all. I try to use it as candy. I think of it as candy, because I'm giving you some laughter with your medicine that I'm giving you. I'm injecting some fucking knowledge into your ass that you need to know. And you might not like needles, but they don't hurt as much when you laughing. And it's hard, if I'm telling you the truth, it's hard for you to get mad at me when you're laughing. How many people you been in a fight with and you laughing? So yeah, medicine, comedy, think of it, that analogy, man, just trying to sweeten it up a little bit for you to make your dumb ass think. We are Black people, man. We are in a horrible situation. we got to fucking wake up and think. First, we got to drop this Jesus bullshit, because how the fuck we gonna get somewhere when we worshiping the same God of the people who enslaved us? What kind of insanity bullshit is that? You think we going to the same goddamn heaven as these white people? What we gonna do when we get to heaven? Oh shit, white people here, time to get to work. Fuck that. Fuck that.
A skit about redlining in heaven has got to be one of the funniest ideas I've ever heard.
Oh, that's why you gotta have the jokes.
Yeah. Red Wedding in Heaven. That's good, Jack. I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah. Hey, you see those clouds over there with the fucking
Look at the heaven. You're so worthy. Your place is over there by the ice machine.
Right. Right.
So I was looking at your timeline on Facebook and everything, Steve, and I know you've had some interaction with David P. Silverman.
Super Dave. I call that motherfucker Super Dave.
Yeah. Who's a conservative atheist, right? We know that Dave.
I don't know what to classify Dave as anymore. Some kind of fucking libertarian, fucking right-wing evangelical, butthole Christian. I don't know what the fuck to call Dave no more, because he's like stepped outside of the person I thought I knew, and he's this new asshole. I don't know who the fuck Dave is no more. But I hope he listen to this and give me a call or something. I don't know what the fuck. What the fuck, dude?
What did he do? I missed this thing between Steve and Silverman. What happened?
Tell him, doctor. Tell him. Talk to him.
Okay,
doctor.
well, they were both on the Right to Reason podcast, which I listened to. A friend of the channel, Robert Stanley, hosts that. And there was a discussion about race in America, about systematic racism, whether or not it exists or not. And Dave basically said word for word the GOP party line that you could hear Tucker Carlson say on Fox News every night. And it was just like, wow, those are bold statements. Literally just taking GOP talking points about race in America.
Yeah. Yeah. What really irritated me the most is that he partook in the dehumanization of George Floyd. He, because he had priors, and a whole lot of Americans have priors, he thought, oh, well, he was fucking scum of the earth anyway, so he deserved to get a fucking public lynching by a peace officer who was invested with the color of authority to serve and protect. But yeah, it was cool that he could just kill him without going to court, without any adjudication of whatever crime that he was allegedly supposed to do. And fuck it, let's just kill him now and fuck it. And Dave thought that everything was all right with that. And I had a problem with that. And we had further discussions, and we got into systemic racism, which he knows fucking nothing about. But he wants to argue with me about it. And I'm like, dude, if you don't know shit about it, if you haven't lived it, if you haven't experienced this shit personally, and you're living inside that bubble that, probably 75% of Americans live in, then, to me, it's like a lost cause. It's like trying to explain the color red to a blind man. He'll never see it. He'll never see it. I don't give a fuck what you tell him. He'll never see it. And that's what Dave, I don't know if it's willful ignorance or what, but he just did not possess the
is he still,
molecular structure in his brain to fucking understand it.
Last I had heard from Dave, is he still working for that free speech 501 that what's his name from Adult Friend Finder started? I don't know if he's still on their payroll.
I don't know. I just saw that he had posted he was on the board of somebody that I've never heard of before. All these organizations, man. That's one thing that's wrong with the atheist movement, is they are too watered down, too segmented to have any kind of force, because there's strength in unity. And when you have no unity, you have no power and you have no strength.
Yeah, but how do you have unity when you're trying to unify this iteration of Silverman with like Dillahunty?
Right, I know. But you know what? You would think that somebody would be able to come along and do it. You know, I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's an astrophysicist, and everybody likes him. Trust me, I was on a show with him. Sat right in the front row, and the room had thousands of people in it. Yes, unlike my comedy show I did that night.
He doesn't openly identify as an atheist. He'll talk.
Right. But no, trust me, I've talked to him that know people who've talked to him, who know people who, you know, one of the auspices of which I did that concert, conference was that, Steve, if you come, I'll introduce you to Neil, which I never even got to talk to him. But I know that the whole argument about black people, I know that this came from his mouth. He said, I don't have energy or time for that argument, because everybody knows the insurmountable odds you're up against trying to get black people to give up their Bible. And he just like, hey, fuck that. I ain't got time for that. I mean, I ain't got the energy. But you know what? I do. But, you know, I got to do things in a different way, because I didn't get to go to college and become an astrophysicist I dropped out of college. So I got to do comedy. That's what college dropouts do, comedy.
Well, it's either that or liberal arts majors, right?
Yeah. So I can work at fucking Starbucks.
Well, let me tell you about this reference from that no one else knows about or cares about, but I feel passionately about. And that's why they're crickets when I perform.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Oh, hey, trust me. I've run into those audiences that had like no conscious bone in their body. The whole fucking audience has no conscious bone. And you're sitting here talking about politics, and you're talking about Herman Cain, and you're talking about fucking Falwell, and you're talking about John Boehner and fucking Lindsey Graham and nobody knows who you're talking about, because they don't have a clue about what the fuck is going on.
Right. It's like,
so I don't perform in a lot of black clubs. I perform, you know, for average crowds are the ones I like the best. The people that just come in off the street at like the Comedy Store or the Laugh Factory or the Improv in Hollywood. They just on a Friday night, they just want to have a couple of drinks and some laughs. Fucking their guards are down. They're not this or that. There's just a fucking generic audience to me. Those are the best people, because you catch them off guard with the shit you say when they have a couple of drinks, and they are caught up and they just respond hilariously.
Yeah, and you know what? I think people just walking off the street, and after having a couple of drinks, you know, you have the greater chance of changing their hearts and minds too with a joke or with a bit or something like that than just like a niche crowd. I think you're spot on with that. Yeah. Oh, it was hard. It was hard. I don't know when I'll go back to doing it, because I'm in no rush to do it. But it's very, very difficult performing for these atheist crowds. When there's like 97, 98% white people, and you're telling jokes about religion and black people, and they don't know if they can laugh or not. They're uncomfortable, you know. Yeah. I mean, they'll tell me after the show. I did one in Denver where a guy walked up. Oh man, that was the best time I had being uncomfortable. But I saw him laughing and having a good time. But he admitted to me that after the show, he was uncomfortable. I think with atheist crowds, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, is that my read is that, a lot of them are thinking, I'm here for the anti-religion stuff or poking fun of the religion stuff. But what's all this race talk that's going on? Right. How that would be an issue with your material. Right. Trust me. I felt it. I did a show for Margaret Downey in Philly. And I just had to fucking stop and ask, God damn, am I performing for a bunch of racists? I thought we're atheists. I thought we were better than this. But, hey, man, I was telling some jokes, and the audience was fucking dead silent. Oh,
I
that's
mean,
hot.
good jokes. I mean, good jokes
Oh, yeah.
about blacks and slavery and religion. You know, all the shit you don't supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
But they were fucking. It sounded like a goddamn sound like a funeral in that bitch.
So Jack, people in the chat, you know, they're voicing their oops for you.
I just dropped a glass. That's okay. I'll clean it up later. It's fine.
All right. Nothing serious over there.
No.
Yeah, Jack don't need no stitches.
No.
The kid's not here. I can get it cleaned up before it's a problem.
Right.
All right.
So, Jack, tell me more about your Satanism.
Oh, geez. I mean, man, have you been keeping up with what we've been doing at the estate? We just had a ball with Pride. I don't know if you saw
TST?
Yeah, the Satanic Temple. Well, the Satanic Estate Virtual Headquarters TST thing.
Yeah.
Doing. I don't know if you saw Greg's invocation or benediction from Pride.
I just caught a couple of glimpses on Facebook.
Yeah, people are having a really. It's really cool that we've been able to like make this space where people can come in and do this. I know it doesn't work well for stand up. Like doing stand up over Zoom doesn't work because you don't get the audience feedback and there's no way to do it right. But like for stuff that's not comedy, like talks and stuff, we've been having a blast with that place.
Yeah, well, I was before Lil Nas X video dropped. I was talking to Lucian, aka Doug, and I was supposed to be coming to. I have this presentation I do about real estate, redlining, the ghetto, black people, education, and religion. I was supposed to come and do that presentation and do comedy later on that night. But after the Lil Nas X video, I think there's been a little bit too much animosity because I didn't like the way TST responded, or they didn't want to have a comment. So I haven't even talked to Doug in a while, man. So I don't know. I joined another church. They call it the Synagogue of Satan. It's on the East Coast. You guys got to Google that. Synagogue of Satan. That's where I celebrate at. I celebrate there because they're a little bit more in line with my comedic personality, I might say, and my Satanism, because I think TST might be a little bit too much structured for me, like a true fucking religion, which that's like what we're all fighting against. You motherfuckers acting like Jesus. So
I love that this has now become a discussion about the different flavors of Satanism. I just want to say
and we need to discuss that. We need to discuss that because I know a whole lot of black Satanists. Matter of fact, I know both of us.
You and Dietrich, right?
Yeah, Von Doom. And if somebody would like invest some time and effort, we could probably actually start a valid, solid, get the numbers up, black community of Satanists. But it's like ain't nobody got the interest in that shit. Kind of like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I ain't got the energy for that shit.
So your thing is that like TST's not focusing on that stuff because of the
it's complicated. It's complicated, man.
It's complicated, and I think it's weird because the way TST is, it's very much. Well, all the objectives were set a long time ago. Like these are the talking points that they're going to stick to, and trying to move into another thing, it doesn't.
Right. That was long before Tamir Rice, George Floyd, Michael Brown, I Can't Breathe, Eric Gardner. It was before all of these guys, Trayvon Martin. But man, we this country does. Black culture is highly respected in America for some reason. And this country kind of follows what black people do. And I think if TST had some black Satanists out there on the front line fighting this shit, we would get more black Satanists on the, to join our ranks because they would look at the trueness, the realness, and the message of what's coming out And they would join. They have a place to go instead of fucking going to church, giving away their money to some pastor that's selling them some fucking fake ass false hope.
I just want to say, Steve, you got a bunch of fans now in the chat. That's your awesome.
I
wish you were running.
Hey, send them to my Steve Hill. Not Steve Hill. Send them to my Satan for Congress Facebook page.
That is Satan for number 4 Congress, right?
The
there.
numeric symbol for 4. Yeah, man. And I've seen what people have done to TST. I've seen how people have broken away and then talked a gang of shit about TST. I'm not here for that. I'm not.
No, that's like the.
I'm not trying to beat them up because the fucking enemy of my fucking enemy is my friend. So I'm not here to fight with them. I will join. I will do whatever I need to for TST because I know TST is me, and I know we're in a mutual battle. This is the shit come from being a Marine. There's no fucking racist when you're in a fucking firefight and you got people shooting at you. You don't give a fuck if the guy next to you in the Marine Corps uniform is Indian, Mexican, Japanese, Filipino. Fucking, you give a fuck as long as he's trying to destroy this enemy that's in front of us. So I have no beef with TST. All I say about TST is they got too many goddamn tenants.
They're not working on they're not working on stuff that you want to be working on. I think is what it comes down to.
Right, and if they don't, they probably don't have much need for me. I'm probably needed someplace else. Maybe like running for fucking Congress. Maybe I'll put my effort there if TST doesn't see my worth because that's not their objective is to wake black people up about religion.
I mean, so I don't know who runs I don't know who's like actually at the top of the Satanist Color Coalition or what they're like. I don't.
Hey, that's Van Doom and somebody else. I think it was a African American young lady. I used to talk to her on Facebook, but they I don't know.
I mean, there is.
I don't know. I don't want to say. I don't want to say nothing for sure. That I want the truth. I want to talk the truth. So if I can't say for sure about their motivations, then I'm not going to say nothing. So fuck it. I wish them the best.
Yeah.
Now I wish I had someone from the Church of Satan on that could tell both of you guys that you're both wrong about Satan.
Yeah. Fuck Satan too. I'm Satan until Satan gets back. I'm fucking Satan. And if one of y'all want to take Jesus' part, because that motherfucker ain't coming back either, I'm Satan. There.
Right.
I'm 6'7" and I carry a gun most of the motherfucking time. If you want to contest Satan, I bet I'm going to win that one. Goddamn it!
Yeah, I know.
I'll cap in your ass.
See, I know you've said you're 6'7" a number of times when I was on your Facebook page looking at some of the pictures of you with like normal people. It's like, holy fuck, Steve is big. You were just a big dude.
Yeah. You play basketball? Yeah. Yeah, I got jokes like that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, so I heard somebody in the chat talking about Sarah Silverman, man. I need to get with Sarah Silverman because I think she's somebody that would support me, man. I really do.
Oh,
so if anybody out there knows Sarah Silverman, I got a guy here in town that knows Sarah Silverman that did a comedy shoot for her, but he's a little punk ass bitch, so I don't even fuck with him no more. But if anybody out there know about where I can contact Sarah Silverman, give her my number, tell her to come to my page.
Right.
Because she be talking shit like me, and I just like her. I like her honesty, her genuineness, her compassion for humanity. I like all that shit about Sarah Silverman. I might even fuck her. I don't know.
Anyone who I remember one of Sarah's old jokes. It was in one of her commercials when she had a TV show out, and maybe it's not. It was the you say Wauschwitz, I say Auschwitz, and I just laughed at that.
Yeah, man. I was this close last night to telling a Holocaust joke. It's a beautiful joke because it combines undocumented workers and illegal immigration from Mexico, the border, and Holocaust. I'll tell you how to joke one day. You'll see it. I'm going to have it in my comedy special, so just hold on.
Tobin says there's already.
That sounds like a tease. When are you recording that?
I think what I actually want to do is record it about 6 months before we vote in the primaries. And just give everybody in my district a copy of it. The shit is free online. Just listen to me for 45 minutes. Listen to the short little documentary that I'm going to do about who I am. And then I'm going to fucking go into telling these jokes that I have that are really not jokes. They're more like social commentary about my experiences in life as basically a 60-year-old black man who has, grew up poor, been in the military, retired peace officer, worked in a factory, have my own business. It's going to be a good comedy special. And I think it would behoove me to give it to everybody for free in my fucking congressional district.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, it's the best advertisement for you as someone running for Congress is just to make people laugh and just think at the same time with a free comedy special. Yeah, that's brilliant.
About that. Yeah, and guess what? When I do that, I've actually taken money out of politics because instead of begging all these fucking special interest groups and unions to give me money so they can buy me off before I can do the work of the people, I don't have to ask nobody for shit. Yeah. And I'll have the people's power. Yeah. And then I'll go to Congress and I'll do shit for the people. Fuck everybody else. And coincidentally, I like unions because I think unions are the key to maintaining a strong, vibrant, vigorous middle class.
Yep, agreed.
Unions are the fucking key. I used to be part of one of the biggest unions in the state of California, which is CCPOA, California Correctional Peace Officers Association. They give gazillions to politicians in California every year, and they get it off of the dues that I used to pay.
Yep.
But you know what? Hey, that's how it works.
Three things. One, Tobin Templeman says there's already a guy that claims he is Jesus, and you can find him riding a longboard over in California. And B says he's going to text Sarah Silverman for you right now. Thank you, B.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But you are correct with saying that being pro-union, it isn't incompatible with saying getting money out of politics, right? Because you can have unions and you can have strong election laws too that prevent whether you're a union or whether you're a large business from.
Yeah, we got these dark money people, these PACs, political action committees who get away with blurring the lines of doing what and what not for candidates, and it goes with the FPPC, the Fair Political Campaign Committees, and, people do things that are just right up to the line, which I think is bullshit. It's so much, and I don't even want to go into it, but it's all predicated on money and buying ad time and posters and flyers and I got so much shit that I'm going to be showing people from just what I've saved up for the last couple of campaign cycles from people I know, friends of mine, used to be friends, that they send out to just like do a low level brainwashing of the people, which fucking infuriates me. It's like any fucking asshole could win a race if he has enough money.
Yes, that's
not the power of the people. That's not the power of the people. That's not the people talking. That's money. That's dollars that's talking. That's not the people.
Right. And
that's Larry Lessig has a very big thing about that, where he talks about how, we have a democratic election, but before the election, the people with the money decide who are allowed to run.
Right. And that's, the primaries. I've experienced it. I've got somebody that's running now that I'm running against who told me, well, oh, Steve, I got so much money already. All she has is $200,000. I've got so much money already, you know, I'm pretty much the establishment candidate, you know, which she is, to be honest, she is the establishment candidate. Mm-hmm. She's the one that everybody's going to have to try to knock out because she has the most money, the most political clout with the Democratic establishment. And she's not a bad person.
The right people.
Right. Exactly. The right people. The right people is everything because the people is us and we have the fucking power and we keep giving it away to the fucking establishment because we don't have the courage. Well, I think
it's kind of, if you're running a campaign, like which would you rather? You're running a campaign, would you rather get, you know, like $5 from 10,000 people or $50,000 from one person? Right.
I'd rather get fucking $1 from 1 million people.
Sure, but that's a lot more work.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I would rather get $1 from 1 million people because now I'm beholden to 1 million people. You know what power is in that? You know the power that's in that? It's numbers, man. This shit is a numbers game. This is math. Mm-hmm. Shit, you go in somewhere with 1 million people, the power of 1 million people anywhere, see what happens. Have a fucking, do like Farrakhan, have 1 million man march in Washington, D.C., see what happens. People still talk about that shit today.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, give me the power of the people any goddamn day. Fuck these politicians, fuck these unions, fuck these bitches, fuck all of them. I take the power of the people any day because that's real power.
Steve, I'm hearing an echo. I don't know if anyone else is hearing that. Okay, thank you, Jack. So I think it was Jack. So Steve, how difficult is it to get on the ballot? I had Howie Hawkins on from the Green Party, and he, show back during the last election cycle, and he was talking about how difficult it is for someone who isn't a Democrat or a Republican to get on a ballot.
Not difficult at all.
No, you have to get a petition. You have to get on.
No, you can do signatures in lieu of paying. Well, that was with the state, but with the congressional seat I'm running for, I don't even have to do that. I don't even think there's like an entry fee. Like for the state of California, like when I ran for state senate, you have to pay like 1% of a state senate salary. I think I paid like $1,200 to pay to get into the game and establish my committee. And I did signatures in lieu of. So you have to get 40 signatures of voters in your district, and then you don't have to pay all the money. It cuts into half, like $1,200 you got to pay to get in. It's not difficult. I mean, it's not something that's insurmountable. It's actually a relatively simple process, especially if you have a committee and you can afford to pay the people that do the paperwork and set up your bank account and get your link where you can link to your donations and you can share your link so people can donate. And all of that shit is really counted, really, just accurately. Just put it like that. They know where every dime goes because the bank account is for your committee and they see the expenditures and the, money going in, money going out. And I'm just trying to talk in a way to make it abundantly clear and plain and simple for everybody that's listening to understand. But yeah, I'm following you on Facebook now. Kendra, I love you. And you pretty too.
D Park says, you're not a bad guy, Steve. Like him a lot. That's fantastic.
Yeah, right. Let's go. Let's go. Power of the people, man. Let's go. Let's get this. Let's send the first Black Satanist to Congress. And I guarantee you that there will never be, ever, another person like me that goes to Congress for the next 100 years because I can't be bought. Power. I mean, shit. I'll make AOC look like fucking Biden.
I really like the motto "Satan can't be bought." I think there's a certain ring to that. I think
Satan cannot be bought. I don't give a fuck about your money, man. I grew up dirt poor on the north side of St. Louis. A child of the children of sharecroppers from Mississippi, dirt poor, and like right now I have, I live a life that's something I could have never dreamed that I would have houses and land and real estate and RVs and accounts and money and just comfortable. So basically I'm since I'm an atheist, a Satanist, basically this is my heaven.
Yeah.
And as far as I see it, religious people are fucking up my heaven.
I like that.
So fuck them all. And I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna get the power back from these fucking politicians and give it to the people. And we're gonna do something about homelessness. We're gonna do something about education. We're gonna do something about LGBTQ rights and treat it with human decency and dignity and respect. We're gonna shift the fucking paradigm into fucking something that is more humanistic based.
Yeah.
More compatible. Everybody should have a good life, man. Life is so special, so important. I mean, that's why on another thing on my platform, I'll be talking about the need for a UBI.
Oh yes.
Which is a universal basic income. Andrew Yang spoke about it a lot when he was on the campaign trail. Why not give every human being a warm place to sleep and food to eat and shelter? I mean, I think we have a right to that. The people should have the responsibility. If we give you $1,500 a month, live off of that. You don't have to live on the street. Be a good human being. Maybe go to school, get an education.
Now this is an interesting, because the conservatives would say that's not the government's job. That's what the churches should be doing.
Fuck the churches. See, that's where the accountability breaks down. That's where the accountability breaks down at.
I agree.
Because the politicians put the shit on the churches because they're always connected, got their head up the ass of the churches. And then there's no accountability. Well, the politicians go, oh, well, fuck, the churches were doing that.
Well, the churches, they say that's what the church, we shouldn't tax people for that. That should be money that people, but then the churches come along and they're just, well, we can't raise taxes because then I won't have enough money to donate to church. And just like, how about you give it all to, this is where there's that weird church, that separation of church and state paradigm that kind of sets them up as like oppositional forces is an issue, like this, you see it with the hospitals a lot, with the Catholic run hospitals that won't do, abortion care and shit like that.
Yeah. All of those religious, lots of them in St. Louis, Missouri, lots of, Deaconess, Baptist Hospital, Mercy Hospital, all of these different denominations with hospitals. And I'm like, what if you're not religious? And you still got to go to a religious hospital? Are they going to give you the best care? Fuck you. I want a fucking satanic hospital.
I will say this, is that a society that depends on private charity is a failed society. It's a failed state.
Of course. It's shifting the responsibility for humanity onto religions, and we shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Pat Green, who's a great guy, blogger on Pathos Non-Religious, and a great photojournalist. He's been on the show before. He has a great book out. Check one of our earlier videos here and check out Pat's book. Pat says, before I went atheist, I was a pastor. Over 90% of church tithes, in most cases, go to operating expenses. And if you tax the church, it dies. So there's the road back.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why TST has church status right now. Yeah.
Blame somebody for wanting to save them.
That's one of the best things I love about TST, and I've told Doug this, man. I told him, like, dude, that shit about getting inside their system and fucking them with their own dick, that right there is brilliant. And I told Doug this, like, this is why, because they had a hard. We were at a conference together in St. Louis, the Gateway to Reason conference, in my hometown of St. Louis. And we had a mutual friend, and she was telling me, Steve, come on, man, you got to be a Satanist. That's what you need to be, Steve. I was there doing comedy. I think Doug was presenting something, and I was like, oh man, I can't. Come on, a Satanist, the devil. Really? I'm like, come on, shit. I'm already black. I don't need no extra baggage with this shit. But they convinced me because I thought the whole concept of flipping the script and changing that shit around to be like, okay, if you want me to believe your dumb shit, you're gonna have to believe my dumb shit.
Yeah.
So that leveled the playing field right there for me. So I was like, okay, I'm a Satanist. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's roll with this. And when I do something, man, I don't turn around. I don't run from. I don't, even though me and TST ain't not as close as we used to be, I'm still a Satanist. I build myself as a satanic humanist.
Yeah. All right. So we're coming down to the end of our time. Steve, the election is next November, is it?
And midterms, man. Midterms. 2022.
2022. All right.
Yeah.
So once again,
so I got a lot of time. Satan for Congress.
Yeah.
That's my Facebook page. Go there first. I'm getting all of my paperwork in. My committee is working, and I got people working on press releases, interviews, news conference. I plan on announcing my candidacy in front of CSP LAC, which is California State Prison, Los Angeles County. I plan on announcing my candidacy right there so we can address that in the state of California, our prisons were full of brown people who sold weed.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Guess who's, now that weed is legal, guess who's not making money off weed? Black people.
Yeah.
And brown people.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be addressing that issue right there when I announce my candidacy. I'm going to be doing it at the state prison.
That's great. I love it.
Poetic justice like a motherfucker.
Stephen Hill, comedian, Satanist, former Marine. It's always great.
No, stop right there. You're never a fucking former Marine.
That's right. I'm sorry. What's the proper term?
Once a Marine, you're always
retired
a
Marine.
Marine. Hoorah.
Right. Very good. Jack, what have you been up to, sir?
Oh, geez. Well, we've been doing
breaking glasses and shit.
Yeah, breaking.
Huh?
He been busting cups.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, I've been
Hey man,
smashing plates.
Make sure you don't step in that shit when we get
I've
off the air.
been breaking shit. Yeah. No, it's all right. I'll get that cleaned up later. We've been doing a bunch of cool stuff in terms of just making content. I'm looking to start my new season of An Ongoing Necessary Pursuit over at TST TV as soon as I fill in some metadata and stuff. I got 4 or 5 of those. You're one of those, Andy. You're one of those guests. So that'll be coming out.
I feel like I'm very meta, to tell you the truth.
I thought that was a good interview. It was fun interviewing Andy.
I'm hilarious and lovable too at the same time.
There you go.
So those are fun.
Hey Jack, for real, man. Before we go, I know we got to wrap this up. I don't know who won the NBA playoff game, but that's the only thing in my life that I really fucking this time of year. But let me tell you something, man. Tell those people over at TST. Tell Will, little punk ass, if he'd like to get together and do something for TST while I'm running for Congress, I'm more than willing to work with them. I have no beef or animosity with them just because of the way they responded to the Little Nas X video. I'm still a open, free-thinking individual who knows that there is strength in unity, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
And we're gonna have to talk about that after, because I'm don't know what the response to the Little Nas thing was that you're referring to, and I think I might have missed that. We can talk about that later, because
just go straight to the top. Just go straight to the top. Talk to Doug. Doug was the only person I was really talking to.
All right.
But just go to the top, man. I ain't mad. I understand TST. There are a lot of fucking goth people, usually younger, under 30. I'll be 60 next month. So they're like under 30 and they think that goth is like Satan, fucking heavy metal. Yes, hell Satan. And I'm like totally on a different vibe, like fucking equal rights, justice, power to the people, and fuck Jesus.
Well, here you go, everyone. Thanks for showing up. I don't know what we just did over the last hour. I think we had a nuanced discussion about Satanism as well as about the California Democratic Party, systemic racism, David P. Silverman. That was just a bunch of the stew that we've been serving up over the last hour. And thanks for showing up, everyone. This was crazy. But Steve, it's always great having you on.
And I always have a good time here because I feel at home.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. I'm doing this. I'm doing the normal show, the Disappointed Cat Morning Show tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Catch me here. Take care, everyone.
Good night and hail Satan.
Hail Satan.